Hello, hello everyone. Happy to be here. So I'll introduce myself. My name's Caroline Hammett, and I work at Easyship. I'm head of our e-fulfillment solutions. And sorry, of course, I'm here to talk about the shipping tips for your crowdfunding campaign. So first of all, once you launch a crowdfunding campaign, you have to expect to go global. It's crazy to think that today you can reach to thousands of clients all over the world with just one product, and it really would be a pity to put any restrictions to the market you would address and to the customers you're able to reach. You also have to have in mind that the most successful crowdfunding campaigns, those that have raised over $2 million US, have actually been shipped to over 50 different countries and over 2,000 miles from the initial project location. So going global is definitely something you should be aiming to do. However, going global and international shipping is usually much easier said than done. These here are the three main hurdles that any company should think of and figure out before going global. The first one, international regulation. Are there any taxes when you ship your products? Who should be paying for these taxes? How can you estimate the costs of these taxes and duties? Then about the shipping, which shipping provider should you be using? Who's the cheapest? Who's the fastest? Can they even ship your product, for example, if it includes a battery? And then the fulfillment strategy. Who will be warehousing your product? Where should they be based? So that was just a quick introduction. Here's the agenda for today. I'll just give a brief definition of what we mean by global distribution. What are the main challenges when doing international shipping these days? What to look for when looking for a partner for the shipping of your crowdfunding campaign, and then a quick success story about Easyship and one of our clients. Sorry, so first of all, global distribution, what do we mean by this? Global distribution is the ability to reach any potential customer through a distribution channel. We can segment that channel into three different pillars. The first one will be the selling channel in itself. So how do you reach out to your buyers? Are you launching an online store? Do you have a marketplace? Or are you using a crowdfunding platform such as Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Second one, fulfillment. Who will be storing your products? Who will be doing the pick and pack? And where should he be based? The third one, shipping solution. So which shipping provider will you be choosing to ship your products to your buyers? So main challenges about international shipping. The first one is definitely the pricing. You have to know, first of all, that every courier has its own pricing structure. What it means is that, for example, some couriers will charge your package based on the dead weight, so on the actual weight of your product. Other couriers will charge based on the volumetric weight, so the dimensions of your package. It's important to understand which courier will charge you which way. Second aspect, the vocabulary in the industry is very specific and very unclear. There are such things such as fuel surcharge, remote area surcharge, remote area handling fee, etc. And all these additional charges, they don't account for 1 or 2% of the shipping cost. They might actually make your shipping cost increase by 2 or 3. So it's very important to have the right tool to figuring out your shipping costs. So currently, without these tools, comparison between different couriers is actually very complicated and can be difficult to understand. Another challenge, what I've called shipping matrix. We've all heard of these 3 or 4 couriers that are DHL, UPS, FedEx, TNT. Actually, there are over 400 different shipping solutions around the world. Although those that we've heard of, so DHL, UPS, FedEx, of course, they have an excellent reputation, they're quick, they're reliable, but there are also cheap regional couriers and solutions that actually make sense, that are just as efficient and that are twice less expensive. So basically, for every combination of postal code, of item weight, value, but also whether you're including taxes and duties, whether your product includes a battery or not, there is an optimum solution. And the way to actually stay within budget and to have the optimum solution is to use multiple couriers instead of sticking to just one. International regulation, that's another complicated aspect of international shipping. So customs, they use a very specific codification to codify your package for international shipping. They are called HS codes. HS codes vary between them based on very small details, such as the component of your item, the percentage of a certain material included within your product, etc. So it takes a bit of time, first of all, to figure out in which particular HS code and category your product would fit into. Once you've figured out in which category your product should be included, you have to take into account taxes and duties. So taxes and duties, they will depend, first of all, on the HS code and the category of your product. They'll then depend on to which countries you're shipping to. You have to know that the threshold for taxes and duties is different for every country, and the percentage of taxes and duties also vary depending on the country. So basically, depending on your product classification, once you figured it out, you also need to understand what's the exact amount of taxes and duties to be paid for each country. And these taxes can be either paid prepaid, so paid by the sender, or paid at reception by the receiver. And once you've decided also on this, additional handling fees may apply. So the whole point of this slide is just explaining that without the right tools, again, it can be quite complicated to figure out the international regulations relative to your product. So the good news is today that, of course, it's challenging to understand international shipping, but of course there are partners out there that are here to help you figuring it out. At Easyship, we've actually thought about it, and we believe that these 4 characteristics are the most important things to look for when actually choosing a partner for the fulfillment of your crowdfunding campaign. So the first one being location, the importance of technology, the importance of the service offering, and the importance of the customer service. So I'll start with the location. So when deciding on your partner for the fulfillment of your crowdfunding campaign, you need to take several things into account. The first one is where your main clients and your main suppliers are, and the implication on taxes and duties. So let's take an example here. For example, let's imagine your goods are produced in China or in Hong Kong, and your main market is in Europe. Well, the threshold for taxes and duties in Europe is actually quite low, which means that taxes would probably apply for the majority of your shipments. In that case, it might make sense to actually try to see if you can find a partner warehouse or a fulfillment partner based in Europe, so that your shipments within Europe will have no taxes and duties. On the other hand, if you're getting your goods produced here in China or Hong Kong, but your main market is in the US and you also have clients around the world, the threshold, for taxes and duties in the US is very high. It's at $800, which means that any shipment from Hong Kong to the US under that threshold, no taxes will apply. In that case, again, based on your size, based on your strategy, it could make sense to have your fulfillment center based in Hong Kong or in China rather than in the US. So it's all a balance and figuring out the best location for your partner, and the ideal situation is finding a partner who actually has warehouses in several locations so that he can give you the best advice on where to ship from. Second aspect, the service offering of your fulfillment partner. So I've split that into 2 main sections, the first one being fulfillment solutions, the second one being shipping solutions. So fulfillment solutions, this is more relative to the warehouse aspect. Things you should be checking. First of all, can the warehouse do kitting? Especially if you have manufacturers or suppliers that are in different areas, then you'll ask the warehouse to assemble your goods. Packaging, can they provide custom packaging for your products? Can also they find the right box or package that will fit exactly your product so that you don't have to pay for extra volumetric weight that is not used? Drop shipping. Historically, most warehouses are used to doing B2B, so they're used to moving around pallets or moving around master cartons. Can they actually pick and pack thousands of individual packages and have a pick and pack area and handle these types of shipments? And then storage rates. Especially when you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, usually as soon as you're done with the production, you get them into the warehouse and you want them back out in a very short period of time because you want them to be delivered to your backers as soon as possible. It's a pity to be paying a month's worth of storage if you're having that, if you need the goods back out as soon as they come in. And then shipping solutions. You can use, of course, courier solutions or postal solutions. So does your partner, for example, enable to ship with Hong Kong Post? Will he drop your packages off at Hong Kong Post? And then what I've called hybrid shipping solutions. So again, usually for a crowdfunding campaign, you'll have a huge volume of shipments going to one specific zone. So for example, if the majority of your backers is based in the US, instead of just drop shipping everything from Hong Kong to the US, there are partners that will build a very tailored, customized solution. For example, we can do the pick and pack here in Hong Kong. You can consolidate all of the shipments and organize air freight directly from Hong Kong to the US, declare each package individually so that it stays under the threshold, and then do the last mile by USPS. So that kind of hybrid solution gets you the best of both worlds. Basically, you get a cheaper price, but delivery times that aren't too long. So definitely check out the different shipping options that your partner could be offering. Then, the technology aspect of things. When you have several hundreds or several thousands of shipments to do, it's good that you have the right tool to actually help you manage and handle all of it. Otherwise, it can quickly get out of control. So first aspect, visibility. As I mentioned before, visibility on your costs and visibility on the taxes. Again, depending on who pays for taxes or not, and depending on the different couriers, it can be complicated to figure out. So having a good tool to compare all these different options. Tracking. Again, a lot of partners can offer tracking, but how will they communicate that tracking information to you and to your buyers? Will they simply give you a spreadsheet with a list of shipment numbers and the corresponding tracking numbers? Or will they actually send notifications to your buyers so that your buyers can get updated with the tracking information? Do they have links that are regularly updated with the tracking events? So trying to understand not only if the solutions include tracking, but how that tracking information is communicated to you and to your buyers. Inventory. Again, some warehouses will just send you a spreadsheet with your remaining stock at the end of the month. Other warehouses can actually give you access to a WMS, which is a warehouse management system, where you can log in at any time from any place and check the exact status of your inventory. And clear billing. If you're using separate partners, if there are additional charges, storage, inbound charges, monthly fees, setup charges, and especially if you're using separate partners, then it makes it very complicated for you to have a clear idea of the total cost for the fulfillment of your crowdfunding campaign. Then convenience is another thing you should be looking for. How will you actually be pushing your orders to your fulfillment partner? Are you using emails? Are you using Excel? Or are they actually integrated with your online store, with your marketplace, with your crowdfunding platform? What sort of solution do they offer to make to receive your orders? And then features, rules, automations. What I mean by this is that, again, when you have 3,000 shipments to do, you don't want to manually automate and check every single shipment so that it corresponds to what you're looking for. Let's take an example. If you know that your customers in the US are super demanding and you know that you want to get the goods delivered to them in less than a week, you want to make sure the tracking service is excellent, and you've chosen a particular courier that matches those needs. But you also know that for Germany, for example, the postal system is cheap, it's actually very efficient, and you're happy to use just the postal service to ship to Germany. How will the technology of your partner help you to really choose the best solution, to create automations that will help you handle this and have the best experience, to not spend too much time on setting up your preferences? And then this one is actually pretty obvious, but it's more on how to it's more, sorry, about the customer service of your partner. When you have a lot of shipments, the chances are that you'll get at least a small percentage of requests from your buyers regarding the package or any issue that you need help figuring out. Well, again, make sure to choose a partner who has a correct customer support team, that is not just one person. The SLA they offer, are they working by email? Do they have a ticketing system that can help you make sure that the issue is actually being taken into account and people are working on it? And then, of course, the language, whether they speak English, where they're based, and whether they're experts in international shipping and B2C. So now, to give you a bit more of an example, I'll just do a quick explanation of why Kello, so they're a crowdfunding campaign, chose Easyship for the fulfillment of their campaign. So first, quick introduction about Easyship. So we're a tech logistics company. We have an online platform with pre-negotiated rates with over 100 different couriers. We have shipping and warehousing solutions from Hong Kong, Singapore, the US, and very soon from the Netherlands. So our mission is basically to help any business ship worldwide. Now about Kello. Kello, so they did a smart alarm clock. They raised over $300,000 through Kickstarter last year, and they had to ship to approximately 3,000 backers in a very short period of time because they did a big batch of production that was ready all at once. And total, they had to ship to exactly 66 different countries. So Kello, why did they actually choose Easyship, and why did they choose to ship from Hong Kong? First of all, Hong Kong is the backyard of China. It's an amazing logistics setup in the sense that it's a logistics hub. So there are a lot of very interesting shipping solutions and courier solutions from Hong Kong. Hong Kong is also a free port. So if producing your goods in Shenzhen, when importing them from China or Shenzhen into Hong Kong, no taxes and duties apply. So it makes the importing into Hong Kong particularly easy. E-fulfillment warehouse. When they had those 3,000 shipments to do, they weren't looking forward to doing the pick and pack themselves. So they were looking for a partner who could help them do that. We found the right warehouse that was used to handling customer electronics and goods that were moving fast, coming in and back out very quickly. Also, the warehouse offered the first week of storage for free. So when you have goods that are staying that short period of time, then no storage fee would apply. And interested in the international customer service. So what they did in the end, back to the shipping metrics I was mentioning before, they actually only used 15 different shipping solutions for their campaign, which isn't that big considering that there are many more. But they actually used the technology to customize every shipment that they wanted and to make sure that it was exactly the sort of service they were looking for. That enabled them to stay within budget and not to overspend on shipping. What they did is that they had full visibility on two things. They had full visibility on taxes, so they were able to, first of all, understand the cost breakdown, and they were able to actually communicate the amount of taxes and duties to their backers. So they chose to make their buyers pay for the taxes and duties, but they were able to warn their buyers on the amount to be expecting. They also gave their buyers full visibility on tracking. So with the Easyship platform, what you can do is actually send automatic emails and notifications to the buyers with the tracking event, a link to the tracking events that's updated regularly. So the buyers, instead of bothering Kello to understand the status of their package, were actually just referring to that page, and that meant a lot far less tickets and customer service work on their side. The whole point of this is to say that when understanding the challenges and finding the right partner, you can actually ship with minimal stress worldwide and focus on the next step after a crowdfunding campaign, which is usually starting your online store and focusing on your product and marketing and your future growth. That's it. These were the main tips for shipping your crowdfunding campaign. Are there any questions?
Hi, thanks. Actually, before the crowdfunding stage, for example, if we have online orders, does it make sense to establish cooperation with Easyship? So what's your threshold with how low minimal orders you are ready to work with?
We have no minimum. We have no minimum, so you can choose to use the dashboard itself without even using the warehouses. So if, for example, you're based here in Hong Kong or in the US or Singapore, want to do your own pick and pack from your store, then you can use Easyship. You can sign up for free, there's no minimum fee. Or if you're working with the warehouses, usually we ask for an average of 100 shipments per month. But again, we know that you need time also to grow and build your product, so that's flexible.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Do you also integrate with other softwares such as BackerKit, or the ones that usually work with Indiegogo and Kickstarter?
So BackerKit, we're currently working on the full integration in the sense that we should also be able to push back to BackerKit the information that the product is fulfilled and giving the tracking information. Right now, the way it works, because there are limitations also on the API of BackerKit, you need to download and re-upload into Easyship. But you can use the same Excel format from BackerKit, so it's actually a very quick operation.
And could you also shed some light on how you do the returns, and if you actually do the returns for the products that have that need to be returned by the customers, and if you are able to manage that to bring them back, let's say, to the Hong Kong warehouse?
So I'm not sure I heard. How do we manage returns?
Yeah.
So returns, if the goods are at the warehouse, we'll share a document with the client. So we'll share a spreadsheet where we'll share every return, and you can let us know whether this should be going back into inventory or be put aside. If you also need help generating the shipping label to get the goods returned, we can only do that currently from Hong Kong, Singapore, US, and soon Netherlands.
Thank you. Is there any questions? So thank you very much, Colleen.
Thank you.
For more information, you are very welcome to ask her directly at the floor. So thank you very much for your speech.